Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. And today we have got David. He's joining us from his boat in Florida. He's currently on a 6,000 mile trip doing the Great Loop. He actually joined the program about 11 months ago, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but you just retired, so now you can be public, and you've kindly agreed to come and share your story on the channel. So super excited to have you, David. I've been looking forward to this because you've been in the program for a while now. But man, so good to have you here, and thanks so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing this as well, Leon. I've been looking forward to this as well.
Awesome, David. So yeah, let's jump straight into it, man. So what was your life like before you got started with the program?
Well, I was an airline pilot, retired now. I was an international wide body jet captain, flying all over the world. Very happily married to my wife, Susan. And we've had a very good life for the last 14 years. But alcohol has played a negative role in that life, and that's why I sought you out.
Oh yeah. So do you want to maybe share like a bit about your drinking and what it was like and how much and how often?
Well, for me, drinking was something that I grew up with. It was part of, woven into our lives from my parents. They sort of lived the madman lifestyle, if you understand that reference, to cocktail parties with friends at friends' house. And I grew up with that just being part of what you did when you relaxed, went on vacation, on a weekend, or where you just wanted to reduce tension. So drinking was something that I started at a very young age, and I continued for 50 years actually. And over that period of time, I saw that alcohol did not achieve the promise of reducing tension, making me happy, helping me sleep, a number of other things. And I think anybody watching this video understands that if you are abusing alcohol frequently, you're not going to live your life to the fullest extent possible. And so then that leads into efforts to either have willpower or other means of giving it up. It's very difficult. It can be difficult.
Oh yeah. So how was the drinking like impacting your life then at the time?
Well, I would term myself as a binge drinker. And I had my profession, which I showed a lot of respect for my profession. And I, wove alcohol into my life, just like when I grew up, into vacations, into weekends, going out for dinner. Susan and I thought we really enjoyed having a glass of wine with dinner. And we started to see ourselves as sort of connoisseurs of good wine. But it was never, that promise of, well, just having a couple glasses of wine was never frequently achieved. It normally led to a second bottle of wine. And then it frequently led to bad outcomes in our evenings. And of course, it always led to feeling terrible in the morning. So that's really, I was not somebody that drank every day, or even, most every day of the month. I was not somebody that drank every day for sure. But, when the opportunity presented itself, if I drank, I usually abused alcohol, and usually drank over what we're told, you should have so many ounces for an adult male or for a female. And, those guidelines are frequently abused, especially in the United States and where you come from.
Oh yeah, you know it. So yeah, and I remember you saying, that you were just kind of, when we first spoke, you were sick of like just feeling bad, the low mood, the lack of clarity, wasting thousands of dollars. And yeah, when we spoke, you just kind of were at that point where you'd had enough. You needed something. You needed to do something.
Well, over the years, I have made other attempts to give up alcohol, and in 2020, I made a very significant attempt, which I did things like I read the big book cover to cover, and I know you know what that is. That's the AA Bible. I read a number of other books, listened to some audiobooks. I hired a counselor to do Zoom calls like this and chat about nothing but drinking and wanting to drink and not drinking. And I had two friends that subsequently, one that died from alcohol abuse at age 51, and another friend of mine that went into rehab for 6 weeks, which was a very, very difficult thing to do. One of the things, Leon, that I understood, or I'm not a conventional thinker, and I don't think you are either. And conventional wisdom tells us that, somebody in my position, I'm a quote alcoholic. I'm born with it, and I will have it for the rest of my life. And it's a disease. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. I can't buy into that. Now, maybe that's true for some people, or maybe that theory is correct, but I don't believe it. That's just me. So the idea of putting that stigma, that scarlet letter on myself for the rest of my life as, quote, an alcoholic, incurable, I might add, was something I just wasn't willing to do. So that left me with willpower, because ultimately the counseling, the reading these books, I just didn't buy into it. And the willpower kind of fades away. I don't know if it's true for you as well, Leon, but after about 90 days, or so, it's like you just want to have that
Oh yeah.
that feeling. And so after 90 days, after really strong effort to give up alcohol, it faded. But what happened, Leon, to me was about 9 months later, I was on a layover in a foreign country, and I've told you about this. And I woke up in the morning, and there were 2 bottles of wine next to my bed, and there was a large red stain from wine that I'd spilled in my bed, and I woke up feeling terrible. And I just, as many people who abuse alcohol do, they wake up with that feeling that I can't do this, I can't keep going on. And then I had this idea, this crazy idea, that I would look on YouTube for some solutions. And that's how I found Sober Leon. And I spent the rest of that day watching your videos. And then subsequently talked to Susan, my wife, about it. And we watched your videos. And then we scheduled a call, just like we're doing now. I think that was in May or June or something. And we were on our boat as well. And by the way, boating and drinking are 2 things that are just like this, let me tell you. And I realized that your philosophy, and you're completely shifting the paradigm about alcohol, was absolutely what I needed, and what I could buy into. And I had to just shift my paradigm because we're being told a lot of lies about alcohol. It is a poison, just like you say. It does nothing for us, just like you say. And once we understand that, it totally changes the game, doesn't it?
No doubt, man. No doubt at all. So awesome, man. So yeah, you kind of like reached this point where you were just like, enough is enough. Got on YouTube, watched some of the videos. It hit you pretty hard, and then yeah, we got started working together. So how has it actually been different doing it, what we've done together, than it was in the past, like with the other stuff that you've tried?
Well, first off, one thing I understood, I could sit and watch your videos all day long because they're inspiring, they're fun to watch, um, but I needed to put some skin in the game. And so that's why, I decided to sign up with Soberclear, because I had to have some skin in the game for this. Now, once I signed up for it, as you know, it just really made a huge difference for me. It just wasn't even a question of going back to the old lifestyle. It's been amazing, actually. And so once I did that, things started to change very rapidly, and I was approaching retirement. And one of the things I did was something I never would have had the willpower to do. I signed up for a captain's program, for Mariners captain's program, which I acquired my captain's license here.
You got it.
It took me about 4 months of very hard studying on my layovers, and I got that. I got my 50-ton captain's license. Doing this trip that we're doing, America's Great Loop, which is another 200-300 boats also doing this at the same time. We're circumnavigating the eastern half of the United States. There's a great, it's not a vacation. It's actually a lot of hard work. But it's fun. It's enjoyable, but you got to have your head in the game in order to not go aground. As they like to say, if you haven't been around, you haven't been aground. So we're doing that. And then, of course, I retired, which was a major shift in my life. And not having alcohol in my life while I'm doing this process, it would just, I would just depressed thinking about what I would have been like, what my mental attitude would have been, my lack of mental clarity. I know we've talked about this, you've talked about it on the channel, the difference in mental clarity when you are just completely out of the game of consuming alcohol. And I mentioned a minute ago, being on the boat, that as we call it, docktails. The boaters get together for docktails on the dock, and it's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable. I can do that with ease and enjoyment without drinking alcohol. I have a mocktail, if you will, and I enjoy it. It's refreshing. Leon, the best thing about your program for me is that every morning, and I said this for like 90 days in a row, I wake up sober clear. The best thing about this program is I wake up feeling great. And I start the day off, and I no matter what happens in my life, Leon, I can deal with it better without alcohol, 1,000 times better. So even when troubles come, it's like, well, I got to deal with this. But if I had to deal with it with alcohol in my life, I know that it would be a lot more difficult.
That's it, right? Like for a lot of people, they stop drinking in the first few months. It's just like, this great time where, they're clear-headed and whatever. But then there's still problems, right? We're still going to deal with life. It's still going to throw us challenges and difficulties. But then, just like you said, you know, it's like that clear head. You can handle anything. So love it. So, what's David? What's one piece of advice that you'd give to somebody that's thinking about getting started with the program?
Well, I have to say that joining the Soberclear program made getting alcohol out of my life, getting that poison out of my body, the easiest, best thing I've ever done. Full stop, drop the mic.
Awesome, man. It's so good to hear.
Yep. I mean, it was the easiest, best thing. And I say that to people, and they got to think about it a second. Well, wait a minute. It's the easiest, best thing. A lot of things you do in life aren't easy. And a lot of things you do in life maybe even aren't good, but Soberclear program did make getting alcohol out of my life, just watching your videos and talking to you and going to a few of the meetings that you have on Slack. It just made it easy, and I will never go back. I mean, period. Just not going to happen. So all this stuff you should cut out of the video. I said full stop. That's it. Drop the mic. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, listen, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much, David. I'll hit stop now, but thank you so much. That was awesome.